Whether you have a diagnosis or not, I don't care. Jump inside this podcast and I'm going to teach you how to read your own blood work so you can find the answers to your health concerns. Yes, those normal labs that your doctor keeps saying, oh, they look great, we'll see you again in 6 months. They really have answers in them if you know how to read it correctly. So come join me along this journey, leave a review, and share with your friends. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Beyond the Diagnosis podcast with me, your host, Dr. Kylie. We are part 2 of the Fix Your Messed Up Gut. If you missed part 1, go back and listen to it on the previous episode, because we went through some labs in which this particular client has a major messed up gut, and nobody's bothered paying attention to it until now. Yes, she's worked with functional medicine practitioners, and we're about to change everything for her with her new supplement and treatment plan that she gets to then go do over the next 6 months. And since it's February, beginning of February, when I'm recording this, she'll be a million times better come summertime. Just perfect timing for grandkid activities and anything else she wants to do, including kicking the fatigue and being able to eat normal food, which would be nice. Hang out with family. So I've been getting a lot of people sending me messages and sending me videos of others complaining about their guts and not knowing what to do about it, even though they've tried gastroenterologists and all sorts of different options, and they just haven't gotten very far on it. So now that you've seen what can be found inside your normal blood work when you have messed up guts and other issues going on, because that's chances are your gut is the hub of a lot of health concerns. If you have a messed up gut, you got a lot of other health concerns too. That would just be my guess. So let's fix your gut first and then see what resolves. Now, on her lab test, you and I discovered that we have a bacterial infection, a viral infection inside her labs, what the numbers were. And whenever I see those two, I'm always going to treat fungal at the same time, because there's not a way to determine fungal infections based on normal blood work, but I know that co-infections are a big time problem. And if you think about it, chronic UTIs, urinary tract infections, the route to fix that is antibiotics, which is going to kill the bacterial component. But why are they so recurring? Why do so many people have recurring problems with them? It's because the fungal component is never fixed either. So go grab your blood work, see what it says. If you want to learn how to read all of your blood work, which I highly recommend, because then the power is in your hands, not only know how to read your blood work, but then how to create your treatment plan following with your blood work, go to drkylieburton.com/blood-work. There's a brand new course available for you patients, designed for people without medical background. You can learn all the blood work in under 2 hours. So the next time your doctor says your labs are normal, you can smile and say thank you and go home and read them a better way yourself. And then know, based on your blood work, what you need to do to get your body better, to heal it. Now, you've heard me say this before, but I don't treat diagnoses and I don't treat symptoms. I treat your body as a whole. Multiple cells create glands and organs and tissues, and those create systems, and systems all correlate together to work together. One amazing machine. And when we solely focus on one system or one gland or one part of the body, whatever you want to call it, that's when we don't get very far, because it's not just one part of the body. They all work together. And that's what this 5-step treatment plan is all about, working together. Now, the 5-step treatment plan goes from what do your labs say? How do we take all those puzzle pieces and create your body a ideal healing environment so you can go from unhealthy to healthy using the blood work you already have? And those 5 steps are: 1, support; 2, gut destruction; 3, gut replenish, 4, balance your hormones, and 5, detox done right. Okay, now that's a separate protocol, if you want to call it that, or step-by-step process to healing. That's just generalized. What about fixing our gut? There's a 3-step process for that. Okay. 1, grab your labs, see what they say, because you're going to need to know if you need to treat bacteria, fungal, and viral, or if you need to treat parasitic. Don't do both. You just need one or the other. Now, parasitic is found inside the eosinophils and basophil counts. The patient that we use as an example on the last video or episode had bacterial, fungal, and viral. So that's what we're going to treat with her. Okay, so the first step is going to be making sure she has iron, vitamin D, and that her B vitamins are being utilized. Now that's the part 1 in the support phase. Then we're going to get to the gut. How do we fix our messed up guts? 1, we need to know what's going on. Is it bacterial, fungal, and viral, or is it parasitic? Because that will determine what you're going to do for treatment. If it's bacterial, fungal, and viral, I'm going to tackle those, and it's going to take me 2-ish months. If it's parasitic, depending on the client, it could be 2 months, it could be 4 months, it could be 6 months. If it's done correctly. Okay, so we're going to count that as getting the bad guys out. Now, what does this look like? There's another test that people have been talking about on social media, and the test is called the SIBO breath test, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, SIBO. You can also do SIFO, small intestinal fungal overgrowth, but it's basically the SIBO stuff because that's what we can measure using a lot of sugar that we eat, and then we breathe that out, and depending on what type of gas is produced in our breath depends on what type of overgrowing bacteria we have in our gut. Now you can bypass that $250 breath test with your normal blood work, just as we saw in the last episode with the neutrophil, lymphocyte, and monocyte count. All right, but there is that lab test out there, and people do use it to determine what is going on inside the gut, because you got to figure that out, and then you got to treat it right. That's the other part. You might know what's going on, but if you're using junk supplements or not the right stuff, you're not going to get very far very fast. Okay. The supplements I recommend, well, I'm not even going to get into that right now, but we need to get the bad guys out. Those are what's considered the bad guys, those infections. Okay. Whether you want to call it SIBO, SIFO, bacterial, viral, fungal, parasitic infections, doesn't matter. Now, here's the thing with infections, too. They don't just reside in the gut. So you might be thinking, oh, well, I took a stool analysis and it came back normal. In fact, I was talking to an individual at church yesterday, and they were telling me about their mom, which I need to follow up with this. But she's been having some major stomach pain that's constant. And every once in a while, or I should say not every once in a while, because of the frequency of it was daily, where she has these severe bouts that just like drop her. It's been going on for over a year now. Multiple stool tests done, multiple imaging done, multiple blood samples, like early 60s, and nobody can figure out what's going on. So I haven't seen the blood work yet, so I need to text and see if I can get my hands on that blood work and see what it says. If it says anything that is poignant of pain. Okay. Without getting too sidetracked, when we talk about fix our messed up guts, we can only do so much physically. Our body stores emotions inside of it. And pain is a lot of the results of that. So we could do all the physical stuff right, all the physical healing, but if we're not tackling the mental and the emotional side too, we're only going to go so far. But this 3-step treatment plan for fixing your gut does work wonders. So the first step is getting the bad guys out. The second step is getting, or what I would call healing leaky gut. And as you remember, she had all 3 markers, and they were like 4 different sets of labs in every single marker. So a total of 12 different markers, and I believe all of them were outside of the range, which is a lot. Sometimes you'll only get 1 or 2 or partial, but I think all of those lab markers were off, meaning leaky gut is a major concern inside her gut. So we're going to fix the leaky gut with a set of supplements and probably some dietary changes. I always get asked by people, what do you recommend for me to eat? What diet haven't you tried? I've tried them all. Exactly. So let's get your body healed, feeling good, especially that gut, so you can eat normal food again and not have repercussions from it. So during that healing leaky gut phase, I do like people to do an anti-inflammatory diet. So this is something you've never tried to heal your gut, which I highly doubt it. I recommend people take gluten, dairy, soy, and refined sugar out of their diet for 21 days. That allows the body to reset and allows the gut to heal, especially that lining of our gut, which is why we call it leaky gut, allows it to heal. And then in step 3, we can then get the good guys back in. Probiotics, prebiotics, enzymes, hydrochloric acid, all the things our gut needs in a good form of it, okay? Now there is one caveat to this how to fix your messed up gut process. And that caveat is that we've been trained to believe probiotics and prebiotics are a necessary part of a healthy gut. Wrong. I've worked with true SIBO scenarios, which I would imagine this client is one of them, where when we get rid of all the bad guys and we fix her leaky gut, and then we go in and we start to replenish with the good guys, all of the symptoms start to return. I've seen it multiple times. And it's tricky because we're told that we need to have these probiotics and prebiotics to have a healthy gut. But yet when we eat them, consume them in any shape or form, our body's digestive tract doesn't do well with them. So if you've tried this, if you've tried probiotics and prebiotics and it hasn't gone well for you, that's okay. You don't need them. Your body doesn't need them. Okay? Now, before we finish how to fix up your messed up gut, I want to go through a couple different scenarios on what your gut can do to other symptoms. Okay? I've worked with a client who has, a couple of them actually, who have seizures. Why do the seizures happen when they happen versus when they're not happening? They're totally fine. It's just all of a sudden the body flips into this seizure mode and whatever happens, happens. Why then? Why now? And I've been able to, amongst a couple different clients, trace that when they do have those flares, they go to the ER, they get blood drawn, so you can see when those moments are there, when those flares are there versus on a blood draw on a normal day. And almost always is the infection flared during that moment, during the bad day. Okay? So for now, I have them on a maintenance infection destruction section, where it's not like heavy, but it's like, wait, you're gonna just hang out on BioClear 1 and 2s because that's what your body likes. We need to make sure we keep these infections dormant at bay, so they're not going to cause these flare-ups. Okay, that's just another way of looking at what the gut can do to our body. It's pretty powerful stuff. So before you try to fix anything, fix your gut. You just figured out how to do it in 3 simple steps. Figure out what your bacterial or what your blood work says. Do you need to go bacterial, fungal, and viral? And if not, do you need to go parasitic? Which way do you need to go? Then heal the leaky gut, and then get into the good guys if you can. Now you can still do enzymes and still do hydrochloric acid, but it's the probiotics that are going to be touch and go. Okay, now you might be thinking, I need to know what you do for bacterial viral infections, and what you do for, what are the protocols for parasitic, and what are the protocols for leaky gut, and what are the protocols for gut replenish. Don't worry, I have them available for you. Just I can't explain them all right here on this podcast. If you're interested, which I highly recommend, when you do this right, trust me, the results will be well worth it. Go grab your access to everything you need to know about blood work, because it's not only going to teach you how to do your blood work, but then it's going to give you the 5-step healing plan. Then it's going to give you the kits that you need to purchase, supplement kits, for each step along your journey. Okay, those kits are designed specifically to help you at each of those steps. It's that simple. If you want to dive in deeper, you can get access to the entire vault, which is on the same page, drkylieburton.com/blood-work. And the vault has access to multiple programs, including the 3-step gut rehab short course, mini course. Okay, those can all be for you. drkylieburton.com/blood-work. It's all right then and there. Okay. You saw what blood work can really determine. You saw how to take that blood work and turn it into answers. You saw how to take those answers and turn them into a treatment plan. And then 4, we've covered how to fix your messed up gut. No matter what diagnosis or symptoms you have, you got to go through those 3-step processes. The first step is figuring out what needs to go. Get the bad guys out. The second step is healing the leaky gut. And third step is getting the good guys back in or replenish. Okay? All right. I would be very much appreciative if you could leave a review of this podcast on whatever platform you listen to and tell a friend about it. Let them know what their blood work really says. There's a better way. I'm Dr. Kylie. See you next time. Ready to have all of your blood work compiled in one location where you can easily read it all together? Well, go grab my book, Why Are My Labs Normal, on Amazon. Grab it, learn how to read your own labs, and take the power back in your hands, because your normal blood work is loaded with answers. You just got to have the right person reading it, and the right person can be you. Go grab it on Amazon, Why Are My Labs Normal by Dr. Kylie Burton. Leave a review, and we'll see you on the next episode.